Yo, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Chapapa TV. I know it's been a minute. I got a lot of catching up to do with you guys. It's been a busy month here in Brazil so far, man, and I've just been recovering. I ended up getting sick after Carnival, and just a lot of stuff going on. But here in Brazil tonight, wanted to come chop it up with you guys. Get the Q&As out of the way. Last month of living, what was that like? This past month going through in Brazil in terms of bills, et cetera, et cetera. And let's touch on some topics, man, because I've been seeing a few things going across the internet, going in and out of the Facebook groups, the traveling groups. So I want you guys' inputs. But first off, welcome, boa noite, tudo bem? Not me. I'm just gonna practice my Portuguese while I'm here with you guys. It's been great. I do believe that right now we are only an hour apart. Remember, I was like 2 hours apart on the live streams. It was killer because at a point Brazil was 2 hours ahead of Eastern time, but now you guys lost an hour, and I'm still up by one. So it's cool. That's cool. Make sure you guys like the video on your way in, on your way out. Shout out to Garden Scientist, moderator, and so forth. Good evening, good evening. Talk to me, y'all. Who's here? Who's here? Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everyone who's new from the channel. I was on Razor Rays the other night. Shout out to Razor Rays. He had a dope live, talked a little bit about Brazil. And he was touching on the Austin homeless situation. And I got in and I gave my input. But nonetheless, it was a great show. I'll probably be dropping a link tonight. If any of you guys want to come in and talk, we could talk about whatever. Ask your questions. It won't be like heavy consultation questions. You guys still gotta get your consultations in. Anything to do with Brazil, anything to do with Dominican Republic. Charles, what's going on? He says, I don't understand why brothers wear sunglasses at night. Man, it's because I got this light right here, right in front of me, if you can't tell. And it's gonna like really bother me to like look at the light, look at the computer screen. I'm gonna see dots sitting here for the hour. So that's why I got sunglasses on. Charles, thank you for that. Ricky, boa noche. It's been a long time. Yes, indeed. Listen, y'all, I don't know if y'all been catching the shorts, but I've been busy, man. February was a hectic month here in Brazil. If you guys don't know, the NFL did their very first event down here in Brazil for the Super Bowl. So that event was huge. It's like at a huge complex. Got the video up on the channel. And then right after that, boom, Carnival hit. It's like what am I supposed to do? And then after Carnival hit, I got sick because at some point it was raining during Carnival, but Brazilians don't care about that. But shout out to everybody who's new to the channel right now. I appreciate y'all. Introduce yourselves. Let me know who's here, first time watcher. Like the video on your way in, on your way out. Shout out to all my new Brazilian friends and old that watch the channel. So let's get into it, right? What's going on here with Chapapa and Sao Paulo? So for those of you who don't know, and Unc just mentioned it on his live, shout out to Taylor Made Jeans. He's back in DR right now. But I just got my Brazilian residency, right? Got this nice little ID card. Why is this important? Well, if you guys pay attention, for those of you who want to come travel to Brazil, Brazil is now implementing that foreigners from the United States, Japan, and one other country now get visas to come visit. And I think that starts in October. I don't like it. To be honest, it's stupid, in my opinion. Eu não gosto. Because why? Because I feel already Brazil is lacking in the tourism department, right? Not a lot of people travel to Brazil. Not a lot of people come to spend time in Brazil, unless it's for Carnival or maybe the occasional Rio stop. But to me, Brazil doesn't have a focus on tourism like, say, the Dominican Republic has, right? And then on top of that, now Americans are gonna have to start getting visas, and it's already a 9-10 hour trip, depending where you're coming from. So that's gonna be very discouraging. So that visa stuff is it's real. It came out last week, and I believe it'll start being implemented in October. But you see this right here, Chapapa got his ID card. Chapapa got his Brazilian ID, right? It's kind of bright. But I don't, y'all see this right here. Official, man. I'm official tissue. So what does this mean? Number one, it means that in South America, I don't have to do that 180 days in, 180 days out. Why is that important? Okay, Chapapa lives full time in Brazil. I don't want to have all my belongings down here, and then for 6 months out of the year, I have to find somewhere else to stay, right? I wanted that peace of mind on knowing I could stay here for as long as I want, knowing I could open up a bank account, knowing I could now get private insurance, etc. So if you're any veteran right now, and this came by to me because I'm a veteran, and shout out to Mike, my brother from the down under from Australia, who really helped me out with this. Mike and his wife Amanda. If you're a veteran, this is very easy to get residency here in Brazil. So make sure you guys are reaching out to me for consultations, right? Consultations in the bio on the channel. Veterans, reach out to me. Anybody else who's looking to invest, or if you work online, if you work from home, reach out to me. But I see you guys content. Let's see what it do. Charles says, "What NFL event is in Brazil?" Listen, it was their first ever event, bro. It was their first ever event. They actually showed it during the Super Bowl on Brazilian broadcast and American broadcast. First ever event happened here in Sao Paulo. Huge turnout. Videos on the channel, bro. It was probably the best Super Bowl experience I've had since living outside the Matrix. You guys know I moved out 2019. I've gone through maybe two, three, four Super Bowls in the Dominican Republic, and my first one was here in Brazil. Took the cake. Took the cake. Shout out to EJ Creative NYC. That's my guest for tonight. It's gonna be a hot topic because he's gonna help me out. I need you guys to help me out. Also, I dropped a link in the chat, but there is a topic that I want to talk about, and we're gonna compare. If it happens here in Brazil, what's going on in the states. So, gentlemen, ladies too, if you're here, shout out to all the ladies, the female subscribers in the channel. Really appreciate y'all. Also, but it's gonna be a hot one. Garden Scientist, my guy. I'm glad you're still here. I thought you went to sleep on me after Uncle Russell's live. Shout out to Taylor Made Dreams. Charles says, "Props to you and your residency. Deuces to the DR." Yeah, bro. It's been deuces since last year, and thank you. I moved officially from Dominican Republic last July, but I still do consultations on there. I was just there in October. I'm going back in November to work the Veterans Day event for MedVets Clinic. Shout out to MedVets Clinic in Puerto Plata. So all veterans, make sure you guys show up for that. It's gonna be a hot event. Y'all already know Chopper Paz MCing. You got EJ Creative, special photographer flying down from New York to do the video and the photography. It's free for all veterans. Free for all United States military veterans. The Dominican Republic Veterans Day is going down. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But definitely, I left DR last July, bro. I haven't looked back. Ricky says they're just doing it because the countries on the list require them to get a visa to visit them. Yeah, you guys, drop a comment. Let me know, how do you feel about that? How do you feel when other countries require Americans to get a visa, right? Do you guys feel it's fair? Like it's tick for tack? I feel it's a tick for tack thing because we all know America makes it very hard for people to visit, very hard for people to, move there, get any type of transition visas, even when you're getting married. So let me know if you guys think it's fair that countries could like be like, all right, Americans, you want to move this way, we'll move that way also. Maybe making tourist visa making tourists get visas to come to Brazil will weed out the Pookies and Mayrays. Hey, that's a fair point. Because what I always tell y'all, y'all ask, hey, Chopper Pop, should I come down to Brazil and enjoy Brazil. And what I tell y'all, don't come to Brazil. If you're not of the right mindset, do not come to Brazil. You know why? Because we do not need Brazil turning into Sasua. That is 100% facts. Camera fell again. So we do not need Brazil turning into Sasua. And there goes the camera. 1 second, 1 second. Here we go. All right, let's get this camera fixed up. But definitely, Gardner, we do not need it. Elvis is going on. He says, will Chalapa establish a family in Brazil? Did you get to meet Austin? It seems he will stay in Asia in order to clean his image. I can't picture him going to DR or Colombia. I can't picture him going to DR because, like Russell just said on his live, DR is cool. And shout out to everyone who's moved to Dominican Republic from our, how can I say it? From our consultations, from our adventure, from our stories. But like Russell just said tonight, don't believe the hype, right? Some people go there now and they enjoy it. Like I think Rick James is out there in Santiago right now. A few people who I've met through the channel are out there right now enjoying it, and some people have gone and they don't enjoy it. So I don't know. I haven't met Austin. I think he's in the Philippines right now. But I was on Razor Rays live the other night with a brother who spoke to him. He said he's doing well and all that stuff. So definitely. Compares the Super Bowl to Brazil. It honestly, you can't compare both of them, Charles, because the Super Bowl here, right? And let me see if I could just share a video before I bring my guest in. Let me share a screen. The Super Bowl here, because when you go to Super Bowl in DR, you're going for like mongering, right? You guys are going for mongering and so forth. And here is just a vibe, bro. Like literally everybody had a jersey. Literally there were beautiful women who showed up there and appreciated the sport. The NFL Brazil official page sponsored was running it. It's like different, bro. Compared to going in Sasua, you're just going there to like watch the game and pick up ass during halftime. So it's definitely a different experience. Let me share one video clip real quick, or several, to show you guys like how packed it was, because it was no joke. It was absolutely no joke. So we got this up right now. Look at this, guys, right here. Let me know if this is playing for you guys. Hold on. I'm all ate up tonight. You could tell it's been a while since I came on, did a live stream with y'all. Look at this. Wait, now this one's not. No, sorry, it's this one. Here we go. Look at it. Whole venue, bro. Big ass venue. Thousands of people. Thousands of people, bro. And it was so funny, man. It was so funny. Just like a whole bunch of, it was literally divided. You had Eagle supporters, you had Kansas City Chiefs. It was amazing, bro. It was such a dope vibe. Dope vibe, man. It was fun. I'm definitely doing that again next year. Like I said, you guys need to come watch the Super Bowl in Brazil, and you need to come watch the World Cup when the World Cup is going on in Brazil. Bro. Packed out venue, ran by the NFL, bro. Yeah, that experience was something else. But I want you guys to drop your questions for me tonight. If you have anything related to wanting to know what it's like to live in Brazil, cost of living, the process for me to get this shiny residency card right here. Mwah. Y'all could ask some questions, but if you don't want to, or if you want to, take some more time, set up your consultations, right? Consultations, garden scientists, if you could please drop the email for me in the comments. Set up your consultations, people, and we'll be good to go. But let's get into a few topics tonight because I want to talk a little bit about everything. I dropped the StreamYard link for you guys, and I want to talk about what's going on in the Matrix right now in terms of dating. Because I won't lie, I've been here in Brazil now, since July. It was maybe like 7, 8 months. And when I see what's going on the internet, because I rarely pay attention to music or radio or media, but when I see what's going on the internet and the movement that has become passport bros or these traveling groups or guys admitting that they go overseas and they look for love and they start their families because who just asked me, and I'm sorry about that. Yo, I don't know what's good. Que lo que, hermano? How you doing? Who just asked me this question? I think it was Elvis. Elvis, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Ah, here he goes. Elvis says, "Will Chapapa establish a family in Brazil?" Did you get it? You guys already know the rest. You know the rest. Will I establish a family in Brazil, Elvis? That I do not know. It's too early. I mean, I just turned 30. I already have one child. But if I did feel the need to want to have, a family, a girl, more kids maybe, or a girl and a dog, because there's nothing wrong with that, I would definitely do it here. Here would be the place to establish. Because here, I feel here in Brazil is so catered to single people and people that are, married or in relationship or want to get that. So I'm going to add my um first guest tonight who joined in using the link I dropped in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome EJ Creative, huge photographer coming out of NYC. That's my dog right there. That's my brother. Listen, make sure you guys hit him up for all your photography needs. You guys probably seen some of the work he's done on my channel when we went to Colombia with things out there. Now I mean, but EJ Creative, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, my brother? What's going on? You
Ain't
hear me?
much. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you well. I hear you well. First off, thank you for coming in tonight. So like I said, it's a live Q&A, and I just want to touch on that topic a little because I know a lot of people have been asking me about like Elvis says, is Brazil that type of place you could come and start a family? Is that Brazil the type of place you come have a relationship? Can you monger? This and that. But first, I want to know, why does it seem like everybody is so hot running outside the states, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to answer that first. But first off, brother, give yourself a little shout out while I try to fix this camera real quick. So go ahead, talk to the people here on YouTube.
What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy EJ Creative NYC. My name is Eli. I'm the lead photographer at EJ Creative NYC. We're a media company based out of New York City, and we travel internationally, shoot weddings, special occasions, you name it, we're there. You know what I mean? It's a pleasure to be on the platform today. I'm always here watching Chapapa, work magic on his channel. It's been a while. I haven't seen him on. So once I saw this conversation happening, I had to jump in and see what's going on. So it's an honor. It's a pleasure to be here. So let's get it.
I bet. Let's get it. Y'all heard the man. Let's get it. So, first of all, where you from in the States?
Well, in the States, I'm in New York. I'm based out of New York City, but as far as work goes, but you know how we do. When you're doing relatively decently for yourself, you don't want the headache of, you don't want the New York City headache, as we call Ted Femma, as we call it. So currently I live in Elmont, Long Island, and I work in New York City.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So let's get straight to the point.
What's up?
How does it? What have you noticed? Right? Are you familiar with like all the traveling going on with like men um, going out of the states for different types of reasons to different countries?
All right. Well, I travel a lot due to what I do, and I'm from another country, so I think I have the right to be able to jump in on this conversation. Although I'm not a passport bro, I'm not living anywhere outside of the country, but I have seen what's going on, and from someone that's born in another country and coming to this country to experience it, right? So I'm like a passport bro in reverse. I actually came from another country to live here, so I could see the perspective as to why they would want to run out and go, elsewhere. I don't know if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
as we know, the goat, passed away about a year ago, Kevin Samuels, and he used to always talk about like
Yeah.
maybe
Happy birthday to him. To
yeah,
well, not anymore. Yesterday was his birthday.
right,
Happy
right.
birthday, Samuels.
Celebrate that man, for a lifetime, man. Honestly, man, God given. And he used to talk about Mei Ling and Maria, and I don't know if you remember, he used to always have them like he just drop it in there. He'd be like, "Well, Mei Ling ain't gonna do this, Maria ain't gonna do that." I think dudes started to realize, that what he was saying. You know what I mean? And dealing with American westernized women um, for a lifetime, and then getting on a plane and then going to experience. If you have friends that's outside of the country like Chapapa, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like the treatment here is amazing." If you have Kev talking about what he's talking about, Mei Ling this, Maria that, like what are they trying to say? And then you get on a plane. Because before it was more so like the big cities, I say like the Chicago's, California's, the New York Cities, the Atlanta's, the big cities, were the ones that had the women that were just a little too masculine, and then
Right.
in smaller cities you had you had women that were just more like they weren't exposed to as much. Um, this crazy inception of social media just blowing up and everybody having access created, big city mentality for small city girls. So even in those small cities, you couldn't find what you would try to find here in America. So guys start getting on planes and they're going away and they're for the first time landing in countries where women, behave and are raised to be a specific way. And that can be a culture shock. It could be a culture shock either way if you come from one of those countries and come here, or if you come from here and you go to one like any other country and you see how typically feminine the women really are. And so when they get greeted and they get treated a certain way, like dudes just fall heads over heels because it's like realistically, there's probably the first time. Not only are they getting it from like one or two, but they're in like a jungle of just everybody. Just all the females are just behaving a specific way. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
that's all I'm talking about. Like 90%.
All right. So I have a question for you. So one of my subscribers just asked me if I would start a family here in Brazil, right? And we've seen other YouTubers, other expats like Andre from Love Crossing Borders go
Shout
down
out
to
to you.
Colombia, got married. Shout out to Dre. We've seen Russell have a child while living outside the country.
Big
So I
shout
want
out.
to ask you: is dating, the thought of marriage, the thought of finding the one, is that completely dead in the matrix? And I want everybody watching right now to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you guys feel that marriage as a man, right? Or as a lady, because it could be vice versa for, all my lady travelers. Do you feel that, yeah, it's a done deal, no more, the dream is dead, to find that long lasting relationship in the matrix?
From my perspective, not out here, bro. The rate. I always wondered why the rate. They said the rate was going down, and the marriage rate is just constantly going down. And luckily for me, I'm married and I have a wonderful wife. But You know, if it wasn't for her, bro, like realistically, I would not. I repeat, would not even consider it out here because there's no incentive for a guy to get married in America, bro.
What do you mean by that?
There's no incentive. It's like all the incentives seem to be like if you look at the laws, depending on the state or that you're living in, a region of the country, the part of the country you're living in, majority of the time it benefit. These are old laws that should be changed by now, right? But they, you know, generally they benefit, the wife instead of the husband. And so there are states now, bro, even if you're not even married, and let's say you have a girlfriend that has a child and you guys live together for a certain amount of time, if you if you let the amount of days rack up on you, that child now becomes your responsibility. You know what I mean? And so that I know you have to take your glasses off to even think about that. Yeah, bro. So you don't even need to be the child's father. You just got to be in the household for long enough, and then they got you. You know what I mean? So generally, the way I see it is, America is making a way for them to not have to take care of nobody's children. So they'll put the responsibility back on somebody and force you to be like a stepfather forever, or for up until the age of 18. So that removes them from having to assist with too much welfare or anything of that nature. So, and I'm just talking about a guy that just lives in the house with that child. We're not even talking about directly the benefits that is given to the mothers and and things of that nature, or the wives, if you should say.
All right, so based off what you and Gar says, he says marriage is for women and we get none out of the deal. That's new to me. Hearing like, damn, now even if the kid's not yours, if they've been around you a certain amount of time, you got to take care of them. That's like news to me,
Right.
And it's actually the disgusting. I don't know, with my situation, what I've gone through in the Matrix with court, it seems like there's a war on men.
But there's a war on men, and there's a war on children. Anything masculine, you're trying to turn feminine, bro. And I'm a part-time, sometimes not. At the moment, I'm still connected to the school system, and one of my biggest problems working in the school system, besides the issues that I see going on with the lack of males being able to really be fathers, or even wanting to be fathers, because it's going to affect the children, right? So they're emasculating the men, and then they're turning the children into confused Pokemon.
How so?
Well, I mean,
elaborate that for the audience who may not understand.
well, the audience, you don't understand. I live in New York. I live in New York City, right? New York City, and we have posters in our buildings promoting, um, you know, for children who I could see maybe 10, 15 years ago, if you had certain ways of thinking, you would go to like some sort of a therapy. You go to counseling where they could talk to you and try to figure out what's going on. Kids were on medication for things that we noticed obviously were wrong. At this juncture, at this point, bro, if you want to be, if you want to identify as a textbook, if you get where my drift is, then you have to you could identify as that. And I've had conversations with friends and coworkers, bro, and they're scared to even jump on a conversation. That's how much fear there is into calling a spade, calling the color blue without asking the color blue. The color blue feels like the color pink. Like there's just this crazy. It feels like I'm living in like a Looney Tune, like like even Looney Tunes make more sense than what I feel like I'm living in, bro.
Okay. I think I understand.
Right.
Shout out to everyone who just joined in the live stream. Good evening, boa noite, tudo bem? Now, me, I work on this Portuguese. Tonight, we're doing a Q&A, touching on some topics. I know I've been going a while. If you guys have paid attention, they had Super Bowl and then had Carnival, and then it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on here in Brazil. I actually lost power. I know you guys ask questions like, how's the power situation? I actually lost power for the first time my entire time living here last week. And that was only because a tree fell down during a storm. But other than that, life is great out here in Brazil. Got residency going right here. This card right here, I could literally cross borders, go to Uruguay, go to Argentina with just this, and leave my passport at home. How do I do it? Hit me up in the comments, and I'll tell you how. So I understand what you're saying, like how they're like forcing an agenda on children, right? Now, compared to other countries, and you can ask about Brazil, how do you think things go here? Like, in terms of like what they're doing, how they basically hang men out to dry in the States, and why everybody's running away.
Other than like Canada, which seems to do, be on the USA's nuts. No, other than really Canada and like, some European countries, I don't feel like South America, like you mentioned earlier, Brazil now is implementing the need for for people to have what did you say they need to have what?
A visa
to travel over, right? Well, that lets you know alone that they don't I don't feel like Brazil, the Middle East, South America in general, Africa are just looking at the US and just laughing. All the country is that respect masculine energy, that respect the balance of the world where a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And then we can clearly see that besides for the 2% of the population that really can't, claim they are what they are. I'll say that. I feel like there's a bunch of countries just sitting there and they're just like, ha, look at them. This is hilarious. They look at the superpower, the so-called superpower of the world. They don't even know, their men can't, control their household, and then their kids don't know what they are. So it's like, it just seems like the U.S. is a big ass joke in front of the entire world.
You're absolutely right. I follow a few international pages, and in the comment section, they're like always making jokes about the U.S. and its mass shootings, or it's always like low shots. But shout out to first super chat tonight, y'all. Don't be shot. My dog El Lobo, que lo que. Let me know if he's still out there in DR right now. But shout out to El Lobo for the super chat. He says Morgan Stanley predicts 45% of professional women. 45%, y'all.
Invest in dog food. Invest in cat and dog food.
hey, that's a good one. Invest in some cat, some pet. What's the store out there? Petco.
Petco, yeah.
And invest in some Petco stocks. But 25 to 44 will be single in the U.S. by 2030. The banks know what's coming. It's definitely a wrap. Listen, I ain't no mathematician, but if you want to say 45%. Of the female population, professional female population,
7 years
will be single. El Lobo, why will they be single? Drop your input, right? And I want somebody in the comments, right? If you guys think we're wrong, debate us, right? But from my perspective, right, from the outside looking in, men are running. Men are terrified. Men are packing up and not looking back.
No.
At the United States.
Well, it's hilarious. I don't think you realize, but I don't know if you've seen online. This is like a lot of bashing of the passport bros traveling and making a decision that they need to make for their lives, right? A lot of bashing, but the biggest part of the bashing that I find hilarious is when I see these videos where the women are like, "Oh, when you bring them back here," it's that line I just wait for it. When you bring Mei Ling back here, when you bring your woman from wherever and you bring them here, that line always cracks me up because I'm like, oh yeah, I still don't get it. They're not bringing them here. They're packing up their ish and they're staying there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that always cracks me up. Free, like how I don't get that.
Now you see, I've always been a advocate of this on the channel and other people's channels. If you're gonna get married, if you're gonna have your girlfriend, whatever, stay where they are.
Right.
Because number one, the dollar is gonna work in your favor. Number two, they're in the environment that they grew up with, the environment that taught them to be the person that you ended up loving and wanted to do all these things with. So why take them out of that environment?
I don't get it.
Why take that flower that has grown with so much love and all this stuff, and you take it out and you go plant it in foreign soil? Y'all know how I feel about this. But yo, listen, I got friends in the States. I got female friends in the States that are like suffering over this. Guys are leaving. This is on the news. And, I don't consider myself a passport bro. I sympathize with y'all, but I consider myself an expat. I'm an expat, bro. Expat dude. But for those of you guys who travel, right? And I'm gonna say specifically for relationships, right? Not traveling for better living only and to get away, but travel for relationships, right? Why? What is it, anybody, that men aren't getting in the States that they're getting elsewhere in other countries?
It's the F word.
What is it that makes it so easy to drop hundreds of dollars on a flight to go spend a week or a few days or a month in a foreign country where you don't know the language and to fall in love over there? What is it? What's lacking so much? And that's my question, where I ask you guys, is it a wrap for dating in the United States of America? Is it a wrap for relationships right now? If you are single, if you are a single man and you're like, you know what, man, I would love a girlfriend, I would love a wife, I would love kids, it's not gonna happen there.
Nah, F and F, bro. There's no femininity and there's no fairness. If you're a man, it's unfair to you. If you're looking for a woman, there ain't no femininity.
Well, like Russ just said, in all parts of the world, you won't find complete fairness as a man, right? We just heard his situation, what he's going through in DR. And, but to me, I think that's more of a situation of nationalism,
right,
with what Uncle Russell is going through. But I, for one, sympathize with you guys, right? If you're that dude, you want to hop on a plane and you want to fly to South America, you want to fly to Africa, you want to go to Vietnam, and you want to find your partner, go for it. Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like now in the Matrix, marriage is just, well, not now. I feel like it's definitely more just a scam, bro. Like when I read on the news, like uh, uh, women taking guys to court for money or accusations for money. Like, perfect example, look what's going on with Michael Irvin right now. Ridiculous. If you guys know what's going on with Michael Irvin, if you don't know who Michael Irvin is, Hall of Fame football player from the Dallas Cowboys. You've probably seen him on ESPN, First Take. You probably seen him on NFL Network. He was pulled off. He hasn't been on TV since the week leading up to the Super Bowl because one of the Marriott's employees accused him of sexual misconduct. And he's now suing. He now has a defamation lawsuit suing for $100 million, which he rightfully, in my opinion, deserves. The man has had witnesses, there's videos, but I feel like now, because of the Matrix lack of wanting to punish people, forgive me, lack of punishing women who lie in court, because
that's what I mean when I see fairness.
Because I feel like the way the laws are set up is like women can walk into a 7-Eleven, buy a scratch-off ticket, and be like, oh, okay, I just hit for $1 million, or I just hit for this amount of money. That's how they treat the court systems in the States, where guys are targets.
Right.
So then now when they get on the internet and then they see all the fellows are hopping on planes and they're smiling and happy with curvy Cindy with the plate of food on the beach in the sun where their dollar is powerful. Now all of a sudden they're like, oh, y'all lame, y'all can't get none in the States.
Right.
Y'all can't do this, y'all can't do that. And then you have the sympathizer cape wearers who'll be like, oh yeah, if you could get asked to the States, that's why you travel. But please. Please. Who wants to deal with it? Bro, I remember one live, somebody came on the comments, right? And it was like, with you and everybody else leaving, who's going to what's the word he used? He said, who's going to build our society, our neighborhood? What about us?
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, he's like, hey, what happens to the society here in the States, you know, with the women and making children and building up town cities? With all due respect, fuck that. Fuck that dream. Y'all can have that. Whoever wants to stay behind can have that. People with passports are waking up and they're going to these countries where they have femininity and fairness.
You say people?
Men, sorry. Men are waking up. Hey, a few ladies too.
Right. But what I'm realizing though, right, is the math ain't mathing, right? And so the men seem to be able to do it on a whole different level than the ladies are able to do it, because we're driven by two different things, right? And so you come into a country and it's embracing of you. The women are embracing because you come in with some sense of masculinity. These women are just not blind and they're just taking whatever. There's something that whether you come in being a provider, and that's one of the key points that the women out here try to say, well, they're just going to try to take you for everything you have. Listen, if everything I have means like 20% of what I make, I'm still better off going over there, because you're going to try to take me for everything that I have, and then the court is going to help you out. So even if that was the case, it's still better elsewhere. But I don't see that even being the case. Now, how is it that the men can go over there, and because of what men are looking for and the femininity that's over there, it works? So if we as men just suck so bad and then guys are leaving, they didn't care, or there's no good men here, why is it that there's not like a passport cis community that's just going to, like, you know, countries where the men are really masculine and being able to find husbands? It'll never happen, bro, because they're not gonna put up with the bullshit. I'm from a country where men don't put up with no bullshit, bro.
I want you to get into that. JM, thank you for the comment. Like I said, open discussion. Yeah, y'all could. We all over the place now. We talking Brazil living. We talk. Y'all want to talk Dominican Republic? We talk Dominican Republic. We could talk Sao Paulo. You know, shout out to Philly Don. Philly Don still out here. Me and Philly went out, did a video the other day. Philly ain't leaving Brazil, y'all. He's like, he overstayed his visa already. He's just like, yo, he's not gonna leave. He gonna try to go to Haiti, get his passport, try to apply for asylum. But Philly got his own thing going on. But JM says, no offense, but do you have any solid facts to what you're talking about in regards to American women? You're making some very powerful statements about American women right now, bro. Definitely solid facts, JM. Fact number one is I don't want to use the word defensive, but it's straight up jealousy. The jealousy that now women on the internet are throwing at men who leave the States, go travel, or men who leave the States to go find relationships, to go find wives, to go have children. The hate towards that and the negativity.
Yeah, the proof. Do we have any solid facts? You could go on YouTube yourself, and they're putting up the facts themselves. You know, one of the reasons that the most recent issues have been going on internationally between these, different, international women and the women in here in this country is that the women that we're talking about are going and bashing them on the internet, saying that they don't have they have an inability to speak English. Meanwhile, some of the women from the other countries speak better English than them out here, more educated. They're already career-driven women. It's just that they prefer a household and being a mother and being a wife over a career. So when all this attacking started happening from Western women, a lot of the women from these other countries stood up firm and they stood up proud and they defended themselves as they should. And so I don't have to go give you no specific proof. You can go right online, go look for it yourself, and you'll see the very women we're talking about are going and they're attacking people from other countries that had nothing to do with the situation.
It is, and I will share a screen, and this has come up on. I believe this has come up on Dre's channel, and maybe Russell's channel, but latest example to me, because like I said, I'm just on the internet to get memes and share content for you guys. But look at this right here, right? This is Tracy Ellis Ross talking in January, right? And I'm just going to go over the points right here. She shared an excerpt from a journal in which she detailed how her body has become a foreign place to her that doesn't feel really safe. She explained she's grappling with her reproductive years coming to an end when she feels fertile with creativity and more women than ever. How she's viewed in being single. Basically, here in this article, you guys can read it yourself. She's talking about going through menopause and being single at 50, no children at 50, and so on.
Right.
Tracy Ellis Ross, right? Very successful actor, so on. Beautiful woman. Now 50. No relationship, no children. When she was younger, her mom spoke to her about, just focusing more on a career. She was more raised to focus more about her than instead of compared to women elsewhere outside the matrix, being brought up on how to raise a family or be a pillar in a family. So now it's like regret is hitting her at this age where she's 50, childless, single, because no one wants to put up with that.
Right.
She's not the only one. Guys aren't wanting to put up with that anymore. Guys aren't willing to waste the energy or the time on fighting toxic women.
It's a fight you're gonna lose.
It's like going, EJ, I have a question for you. If you go into a restaurant in your mind, like, you know what, I want rice and beans and tostones, right? And you go into this restaurant and they're like, we don't have rice and beans, but we have some spam meat and Ritz crackers. That's all we're giving you.
I'm walking my ass out.
But wait,
it's not what I came for.
Then the restaurant will be like, no, don't go and look for what you want. Don't go and procure what you want. Stay here and accept what I'm giving you.
And then
don't
be
upset at me. Five-star meal. Take the spam meat and crackers and deal with it.
Not happening.
Because I'm the one giving it to you. That's basically why these women are single now, right? Because guys are waking up. Some guys. There's guys that, they can't get over the lure of ass running the world. Ass does not run the world.
No.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, do you think we're in a generation where women in the Matrix try to weaponize sex?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like the power of the P USSY is supposedly stronger than the power of whatever what men are carrying around. It's like, yo, what I have to provide is just as valuable as what you have to provide. And I think once men start to realize that, then they could take their minds out of just like putting the coochie on a pedestal, bro. And that's what happened, guys. You know, they simp to pedestalize the pussy. They they'll betray a friend to pedestalize it. They'll do whatever they have to do just to, you know, to get some ass. But I think if guys, you know, the guys that realize their value and the importance of how important they are, you know, they won't allow themselves to be treated than less. You know what I mean? And once you could do that, once you know how to just be like, listen, I'm just as important of you, if not more. Once you solidify yourself in that alone, your whole world changes, bro.
And I think that's the problem that happens with a lot of male travelers, right? You guys, like when you go to the Dominican Republic, so you go to the Colombia, and you lose your mind, right? Because you step off that plane into a land where sex isn't weaponized against you.
That's true too.
It's not weaponized against you. It comes to you like a bag of chips at a Subway combo, and you don't know how to act because you're coming from the structure of where, damn, you got to spend. I have a homeboy. Shout out to my homie E. It's my homie Erison, right? And he gave me an example a while back. He was like, "Bro, a first date here in this in the states cost me about $250 to $300, and maybe you'll get like a hug goodbye, right?" And I'm not saying like, yo, you know, first dates should like lead to sex or anything like that, or whatever. And you know, pause on this, but my homie, he's a like a well put out dude.
Fit.
So fit, great personality, whatever.
Yeah. I actually seen him a week ago. I forgot to tell you.
He told me about it. But what would you rather? Anybody in the comments, right? You rather be in a place where you don't have to shell out thousands of dollars. You don't have to deal with the maybes. You don't have to deal with the having to be a carpet type thing, as opposed to being in a simple environment where, like, if a woman likes you, she likes you. Boom. No games. Straight to the point. Y'all enjoy your time. You don't gotta ball out for her. You don't gotta impress her. She don't need you to be 6'8" with your house and your sports car, or whatever, what you have in a big, and all she bringing to you is 3-year-old lingerie. What would y'all rather? EJ, you want to know what dating has been like for me in Brazil? And I won't even call it dating. I'll call it having friends.
I think I can imagine, but I am curious. Like I do wonder what what you feel like the no what you feel, what have you noticed has been the biggest difference from the U.S., from DR, and what it's like now currently where you live. Because I feel like just observing your channel regularly, I've never seen you more happy in another place than you are over there. And it hasn't seemed like it's like it's just women. It seems like it's just like you're going out, you're getting more fit, you're playing ball, you're doing all these things that you live in. It seems like you live in a place where health is priority, and health is wealth, and the things that come from being healthy and taking care of yourself are just kind of like they're just kind of like byfactors of just like you're celebrated for being who you are, and that's what it looks like to me. So you could explain better, but that's what
Emphasis on that last part. You're celebrated. I'm celebrated for being who I am. I don't have to pretend to be anybody. I don't have to lead with the wallet. I don't have to say, oh, I'm so and so. You bow down to this, you bow down to that. Listen, to answer your first question, right? So this for me was like dating the United States, and once I got to DR, I went on an incline, and then from Brazil, you just go up, right? DR was cool, has its holes. We spoke about that before on the channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the prior videos. But here in Brazil, with the friends I have made alone, female friends, bro, I've been here a short time, and here I found there's a lot of females I have more in common with, like the same likes, and that makes it very easy to get along. And like I said, in Brazil and all of Latin America, right? We're gonna count DR, Colombia, and all Latin America. I feel Brazilians are the most open-minded out of all of them. They don't care about stigma. They don't care about beating around the bush. Like, example, if you meet a girl and she really likes you and she's feeling you and y'all get along great, she will kiss you right then and there and not care and not wait. Why? Because they're open. They don't deal with all that nonsense. They don't hold nothing hostage, right? I got a friend who lives in Brasilia, the capital. When we first met, we hit it off. She took me to a ramen spot. Then we went out. She took me to this bar. It's like when I was first like new in Sao Paulo. And then I had another friend who got my daughter a birthday gift when I was going back to the States. Never even met her. I didn't even have to act. I didn't even ask her for it. She's like, "Oh, here, I got a gift for your daughter. Bring this back with you, but don't tell her who it's from."
Mm-hmm.
Got people here, women here celebrate my birthday for me. Like just the availability, the willingness, the femininity, the fairness to want to do things for you. That has been my experience here, right? And my last situation, DR, was crappy. Last relationship in Dominican Republic was crappy. So right now I've been single. But I do know, like, hey, if I was to get into something, if I wanted to chill, settle down right here, it would definitely be Brazil. Definitely be Brazil. Dating is easy. Dating is cheap, bro. You guys could come down here and you'll meet someone and you'll vibe with someone whose perfect evening is be like, hey, can we just get a couple of beers and sit somewhere?
Right.
That's their evening. Or hey, can we just go for a walk in the park? Or hey, can we get together and smoke weed and eat cookies after? Or let's go to the gym together. Listen, y'all, I feel like if you're a stand-up guy, you got your head on your shoulders and you got your passport, there is someone decent for everyone here. If you're decent. If you're not decent, don't come.
Right.
Right? And I feel that's what happened with the Austin Holman situation, because I've gotten like some feedback from women here. Like, yeah, it's not on sunshine and rainbows. Some women here have actually, like, spoken to me. Like, I back, that video that came out. Like, hey, all Brazilian women are easy. You got to come down here and enjoy yourself. Like, no. Said it multiple times on the channel. He could have worded things better. He could have. He painted the wrong type of target on Brazil. But at the same time, I remember a whole bunch of fake women in the States climbing on board the Austin hate train. Like, hey, you see what this guy's doing? He's traveling for sex. He's traveling for ass. There was this one corny dude on his YouTube channel talking about, oh, I'm gonna report you to the FBI. Trafficking. That's it. Like, yo, y'all just wait for any excuse to hate, and it's pathetic and sad.
I watched some of Austin Holland's videos. I think the in this inception of our conversation, you mentioned something along the lines of, when guys first get out of the country and they kind of like witness the different type of behavior from women, they don't know how to act, and they kind of lose themselves. They go crazy. I think what happened to him was that like he just kind of like was just the way that he was expressing himself. It just sounded a lot worse than what he was trying to say. You know, I don't think he meant like you're all Brazilian women are just very, very easy. No, I don't think he meant that. I think he's just like, this is crazy. Like, I don't even have to, I don't gotta go buy you a Lambo and take you on a trip around the world to get a chance to get with you. If you like me, like if a woman likes me, they like me and they're cool with that, just that. So he just kind of like, that's easier than anything he's ever had in the U.S. That's my perspective on it. I don't think he's just saying they're easy. I think he's saying like here it's way easier than what he's been used to. You know what I mean? And it's true. But like you said, it's the verbiage. It's about how he said it, not really about what he said. How he said it, if interpreted the wrong way, it just I don't even know how it sounds if you interpret that in a Brazilian language and I'm in Portuguese. But from my perspective, I think he said the truth, but he just said it a bit insensitive, and that matters to people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely that on the sensitivity training because in my experience here, man, I love the people here. Love the people of Brazil. And they're nice, they're open, they're outgoing. Listen, you can have a great time here long term or short term. You just need the stamina for it, man. Because Brazilians they party their ass off. They party, drink. Like I'm probably gonna need a liver transplant in the next few years because they could drink, bro. You go out and you go out to a bar any day of the week, and that bar will always be packed, right? You got the samba parties, you got the beach, you got regular stuff. It was hard, bro. Like I personally I couldn't keep up for Carnival.
Do you
I
think
probably
it's the city you live in, or do you think it's the country in general?
No, the culture in general, bro. The culture in general, they love their churrasco, they love their cervejas,
Yeah.
and they love their music. Like me, bro, I couldn't keep up for Carnival. I couldn't. I think I only went out maybe what 2 or 3 Carnival blocks. I couldn't keep up because they would start from at 6 in the morning. These are organized parties starting at 6 in the morning.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. These are organized parties starting at 6 a.m. when you're drinking and you're dancing, you're going around, you're having
bacon. They was partying for breakfast.
yeah, man, it's no joke.
Wow.
Definitely. So I did it this year in Sao Paulo. Definitely next year I want to go to either Rio or Bahia Salvador. I know a few of my friends went down to Rio. They loved it. It's just an amazing culture out here, man. Where it's just like I really, really enjoy Brazil. Only thing is that for me, rent's expensive, but it also depends how you want to live, right? Here in Brazil is the most I've paid in rent my entire time living outside the matrix. DR, I was at 800 first, and then I went down to 315, and then due to inflation before I left, I was at 400. Here in Brazil, I'm at 1,000.
Behind you,
huh?
I like that view behind you, though.
Yeah, bro. I'm here in Brazil. I'm on the 18th floor. Building's nice. Got the pool, got the gyms, got the sauna, got the grocery store. Great neighborhood. So here in Brazil, it's more for you get what you pay for. I know some of you guys. Um, Shout out to everyone who's done conversations with me before. When you want to move to the Dominican Republic, you ask about, hey, is it worth living in this neighborhood to save this amount of money? It's not worth the peace of mind. Yeah, you could pay 6,000 pesos, $120 for an apartment a month. But where's that apartment? How's your security?
The body.
How's the power outages? You don't want to move outside the states and cut your way of living in half, right? Well, this sort of stuff we talk about during the consultations. Like I said, any veterans who are interested in coming down to Brazil full time, getting your residency, or anybody else who works online remotely, or anyone who wants to invest in real estate, or if you own any real estate in the States, I can teach you how you can live in Brazil full time, no worries. So let's get to these comments, y'all. You guys are quiet tonight. Any questions you guys got, on Brazil or on the topic, let me know. Ricky says, to be honest, I don't live my life to anyone's standards, just my own. Good or bad, people will always talk and haters will always exist. I just live life as it comes, one day at a time. And that's what my sensei Jorge be telling me, man. Listen, it took me a while to get to that level, EJ, to where I'm like, damn, I have to stop living for the reactions of others
Yeah.
and live for myself. And that's the backlash, and that's why I wanted to do this live tonight to talk to anyone, right? Because we all fellas here, right? In certain areas, we're not allowed to communicate what we're feeling, or we're not allowed to share our thoughts or our emotions or what's bothering us or what we want. We're not allowed to do that. So tonight I want to do something for us. I'm like, listen, I see this going on in the States where it's like, hey, y'all suffering, you guys are lonely. And that's why I sympathize with the movement. Like, hey, if you want to go overseas and find the love of your life and start your family and do all these things, go for it. I applaud you. Because EJ, I don't know if you know this, but whether you do good or bad, people will always talk.
Right.
Someone will always have something to say.
And as much as I do agree with that, right? I agree with both of you guys. Your subscriber that just commented, I agree 1,000%, and I agree with you as well, Free. So I feel absolutely, you just gotta make yourself priority. But at the end of the day, whether if you can make yourself a priority, in a bowl of ceviche, or you can make yourself a priority in a shithole Subway. You know what I'm saying? It's where you decide to do it matters. You know what I'm saying? So for you, look, you made yourself a priority, but you made yourself in a priority the right place for you. So if you made yourself a priority and you were somewhere where it was toxic and the stress level was high and the crime is high, then it's not the same thing as if you make yourself a priority, but you put yourself in a place where you feel at peace and you feel like you're extending your life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Do you have any like single female friends right now in the Matrix that are like going through the drought that men are causing right now? You
Bro,
guys,
do I?
what do you know about first I want to ask you, what do you know about monk mode?
Monk mode?
Yeah. You know
Nah,
what monk mode is?
I don't know much about monk mode.
Okay, so monk mode, for those of you who don't know, is basically what happens when you're exposed to traveling and you're exposed to the femininity and fairness in another country.
I
So
think
well to the
mode.
point to when you go back to the States, you don't pay the female population no mind. You're not having sex. You're not going on dates. You're not even complimenting.
Looking, bro. You don't even look. When you see the big ass eyelashes, or you see the Nicki Minaj bright ass hair, or you see the fake this and the fake that. Honestly, I see. Well, I listen. I told you I don't have to live somewhere else. I was born somewhere else, so I understand. Majority of my family is everywhere else. From France to Guadeloupe, Haiti, DR, and some in Brazil and different places. So I see what you know when you come here from a different. It's like if you come from France, right, and you experience high cuisine on a regular. Then you come out here and then somebody tells you, hey, for the next month you'll be eating burgers and pizza and halal. And you're like, what the fuck? I bring me back home ASAP, bro. That is the reaction. That's how I could relate it to monk mode, as you call it. Now, once you explain that, I completely understand what monk mode is.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I still do monk mode when I go back to the States to visit because it's just like at that point where I feel there's nothing for me there. Like from what I'm exposed to living outside the States, why would why bother once you go back?
Bro, I can't give you. I couldn't even give you a great reason, bro. I don't get me wrong. There's some great people out here. There's some great women out here, and some of them are friends of mine. And I do feel horrible, bro, because it's like the country has done them a disservice, and even when they think it's doing them a service, it's actually doing them a disservice. Because the more this country tries to emasculate men, the less men will want to be here, and the more men will want to explore elsewhere. And once they get that taste of elsewhere, if they're not from somewhere else already, and they get that taste of elsewhere, bro, it is hard to come back here because it's not enough of the good ones, to make it feel like the country is, you know, the women in the country are feminine to your liking. It's a lot of combativeness. It's a lot of dick measuring contests with people that don't even have dicks. I mean, now if you identify as having a dick, I guess you have one too. But it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? And so after your 20s, I would say from like 16 to like 26, those 10 years of chasing and having the energy to run and wherever you're at, you on it, you just want some. Bro, after that, when you have a career, you have a job where you're making some decent bread, and you get the opportunity to travel and you start going other places, it's not gonna take long before you realize, like, hold up, something's different here. The air is different, the people are nicer in general, but then the women play a major factor, bro.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where we go, no matter if you speak the language or not, you're gonna wonder, hey, how are the women in this country? Let me look around and try to have a conversation with one. Let's see how, if you're a single man, let's see how it's like to have a night with one. You know what I mean? And you're gonna probably wake up the next day and you're gonna be like, oh my God, what have I been doing for the past 10 years? And am I willing to sacrifice another 10 years doing the same thing? Because after this pandemic, chapapa, it seems like the amount of mobile work has gone through the roof. And so if even jobs where you had to go into the offices, the offices are selling their office spaces and allowing a lot of workers to be able to work from home. If you don't need to be in the office, you can create an office from your home. Um, they had meetings like once or twice a month, and everything else is done from home. If you have internet and if you have a VPN, you could be living anywhere on this world and still getting work done. And your bank account is replenishing regularly. So now it's just up to you to decide to do the balance. What's your give and what's your take? If you feel like like I said, if you're a single man and your parents are either young or your parents are not around, or you don't have much responsibility or ties to being here, you got to do what's best for yourself. Because no matter what happens, you can't do good for nobody else if you're not good up here and you're not good up here. So you got to make sure that you're good first, and then after that, everything will fall into place. If you're a man and you believe that a man is a leader,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it should be.
Right. And so just so we're clear, you feel in today's age, the year 2023, a man cannot be a man in the matrix anymore.
A man is a man is like a wounded dog in a matrix.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, you're there and we know that you're a man, or but it does. So what? So what if you're a man? Yeah, I have all your rights, and if you f around, you wound the dog, I'm gonna wound the other side of your hip, and then instead of being able to travel, you gonna have to crawl like the dog from Family Guy.
Bro, emphasis on the I have all your rights. That's why Garda Scientist said it earlier. Bro, it's not even worth it anymore. It's not even worth to put yourself at risk financially, mentally, emotionally. It's not even worth it anymore. So that's why I sympathize with everyone who wants to get your passport. I sympathize with the passport bros movement. I don't consider myself a passport bro, but I sympathize with y'all,
Same.
right? Because the group, it has some positivity, right? I love seeing the guys share their success stories. Like, hey, I go overseas and I found the love of my life. Here is us 10 years. Here is us 15 years. Here's us 9 years. Before we even knew what remote jobs were, before half of us even knew what expat vlogs or traveling vlogs were, these people have been doing it.
Right, especially military.
Right? Like Ricky just said, he said, I actually miss Haiti a lot. And you speaking on, he just says, just don't have any faith in ever being in paradise. I remember again, definitely is a sad case with that. Shout out to Vladimir here from Ukraine.
Shout out to
What
you.
it, what it do, Bonoiche. Out here, I don't know how to say good evening in Ukrainian, but thank you. Obrigado for watching. So,
Vladimir.
so I asked you a question about your single female friends in the States. What's going on there now?
Bro. But there's two kinds. There's the ones that I'm friends with. And to protect your friendship sometimes you just gotta let people believe whatever they need to believe for them to survive. You know what I mean? If it means that they think it's the career or where's the guys at, I could do all this for myself. When I work for nurses organization sometimes out of the year, right? And it's sad because sometimes you see women come in there and they bring a date, and you could tell from the description of the guy, if I give you, and the age and the amount of hours that woman has to work, that this guy is just coming in and he's like, this is the perfect opportunity. This lady's making like $130,000 a year, $200,000 a year. She can't get a man, especially not no man her age. So if I come in and she wants a young guy that's gonna come in and blow her back out, I could live in a nice house, probably marry her, and half of this, but try to reverse game and do like they would do to you when she was younger, right? There's those. They're the friends that took too long. You know what I mean? Like sometimes their circumstances, it wasn't their fault. You know what I mean? Like they just had to get out of a tough system growing up as a child, and they had to, adapt and create for themselves. And now they have the perfect opportunity. But then who are those guys that they would get with, right? These are, if you're in your 30s, right, the men that you most likely would be able to get with are men in their 40s. Now, the men in their 40s are most of the time are hitting their financial stride. Now, they're making really, really great money. And so by that, they really don't really care about a woman's income, right? And if they don't care about a woman's income, they need a woman that's going to be submissive. And if they need them to stop working and just, take care of home, are you ready to do that? Well, a lot of women are not in this country. And I have friends that are like that as well. And so they're looking and they're waiting and they're trying to find someone, but it's not happening. And in that same group of friends, I have the ones that start to leave the country and try to passport cis. And I have quite a few of them, bro, that have gone outside of the country, have gone to Haiti, they've gone to DR, they've gone to other countries that they know are less fortunate, and they are definitely not fit. They're definitely not feminine. And some of them are very friendly, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what they require out here, they'll never be able to get because they don't present what the men that they're requiring it from, what those guys are looking for. You see what I'm saying? There's like this imbalance where I want this, but the guys that are here, they want this, and you don't want to be that. So it's like there's this crazy imbalance, and they can't get it. So they go outside and they get somebody else. Most of these guys are just looking for an opportunity to come to the U.S. to get out, and then once they get out here, they divorce them, or they catch the guys cheating, or by the time they catch that, they have kids with them. It's almost impossible to reverse a process and send somebody back. So then they, in turn, they're left with children, and they have a great career to provide for these children, but then there's no father figure around for the kids. And now you've become a double baggage because now you have kids, you have a busy career, and you're not, appealing. No guy wants to come around realistically. No men that they would really like wants to come around and take care of a couple of kids that don't even belong to them. So that's a whole nother category. Then you got the category of your friends that you cool with, and you're like, bro, when they're talking to you, you just look at them and you just shake your head because you just know, don't even say nothing because it's not gonna change anything. They have it in their mind. It's all locked in and focused, and everybody, all the men that come around need to bend to their will. And you just watch them and you just feel bad because you're like, yo, there's a countdown coming, and it's like if you don't, humble yourself real quick, you're gonna end up like Tracy Ellis Ross. And that's my perspective.
So JM, and thank you. Like I said, we open to debate here. JM says the thing is just because you had bad with American women, it doesn't mean that all American women are bad. Perhaps you're messing with the bottom of the barrel in the U.S., bro. Ha ha. Glad you brought that up, JM. Now, it's one thing to direct this statement to Chapapa. To me, right here, right? I had it bad. Maybe I was messing with the bottom of the barrel.
That barrel has a big bottom, bro.
So now I ask you, JM, what about the tens, right? Because not just thousands. What about the tens of thousands of American men that feel the same way?
They're all going for the bottom of the barrel.
Did we all just happen to fit in at the bottom of the barrel? And if anybody else in the comments, agrees or disagrees, let me know. But did we all just happen to fit in at the bottom of the barrel, or did we just make this one big group text on how, like, listen, we're all gonna collectively say that the women here are not up to par? No, this is a real issue.
JM is hilarious. I see this sentiment, this type of behavior from JM. I see it often when women call up shows. He reminds me of a lot of the women that call up shows. Is JM a woman?
Good question.
Yeah, I would hope JM is not a man, but if JM is a woman, it makes a lot of sense. That women that call up the shows and instead of taking the constructive criticism because it's real and it's a fact, instead of taking the constructive criticism, it leads to this type of all. You see when you see that word all, not once did either one of us talk in this whole conversation and we said all American women are bad. No, not one. The first person that said that's even mentioned that uttered those sentiments has been JM. And I've seen that JM is here on a rant and ready to rumble. And JM reminds me of the type of woman that I told you. I don't even bother, trying to have an argument with or explain or save. You know what I mean? It's just the mind is already made up. But when Morgan Stanley says it, like El Lobo, when Morgan Stanley says it, when the prediction is going up that here's what's going to happen by 2030, I guess we'll wait till 2030 and we'll meet you back here, JM, and we'll see what your thoughts are.
And shout out to El Lobo again for the information because this I didn't even know. Guys, this is a bank predicting this. What business does a bank have to talk about this?
Not just the bank, the census are seeing issues. It's like all higher entities are seeing that there's a problem, and the problem, once again, no one said the problem is with all. It's just if you compare this specific country with other countries, this country overwhelmingly has women that have a high sense of testosterone or behave like men, and men don't feel like dealing with that. That is what we're addressing.
Yeah, JM. So it's easy to ask me that because I'm the one here in front of the camera, but you can't say that about tens of thousands of men who have left and found success elsewhere. Because you know why? Because if you go on YouTube, there are women going on rants about how there aren't men here or how men don't want to put up with them. When I say here, I mean the Matrix. There are women going on rants for guys who get passports and they want to go overseas and they want to find love or they want to do this and they want to do that. There's rants. Why are these rants happening? Are those rants coming from women at the bottom of the barrel? What you think? Coming from bottom of the barrel, JM? Because if it was just a me thing, right? If it was just me going through all this and everybody else is normal, I'd understand. It's a me thing. But JM, there are tens of thousands of men, right? And we're not even including the men who are on the internet, right? We're not including the men who are going through divorce settlements or like EJ stated earlier, having to pay child support for kids that aren't theirs, or having to go through issues of court systems, or having to worry about lawsuits of accusation for money. What barrel are we in exactly?
Well, I don't know. This is the worst barrel. This is probably the worst barrel to be in.
What barrel are we in when a bank can predict that 45% of women between the age 22 to 44 will be single by 2030? Whose fault is that? That ain't mine. That ain't mine. I'm happy in South America. Dre's happy in South America. Russ is happy in Thailand. Jorge is happy in DR. All my subscribers who have moved this past year to DR, they're happy. All the veterans on the channel who live in Thailand, Vietnam, Colombia, they're happy. How did we all fit in that?
The bottom of the barrel.
Said those thousands of men, so-called passport bros, are just a small portion of the U.S. population. Okay, these are men who are accomplishing their dreams overseas, right? And when you say small portion of the U.S. population, how much of the U.S. population right now is actually divorced or going through a divorce?
That's my next question.
I believe there was a lack of a baby boom. I believe there was a lack of marriages nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
So are you going to blame the passport bros? And like I said, by no means, I'm not a I'm not. I don't consider myself a passport bro. I'd rather be an expat dude. But come on, man. It's evident.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with this day and age, bro. You can't call a spade because then everybody's in their freaking feelings and they feel a certain way about it. But that's it. I'm not gonna change my thought for nobody. JM,
these are tens of thousands, bro. Like this has actually hit the news on what's going on. These are tens of thousands.
There's a video that I'd like to share with you, but I don't have it right now. So maybe one another time we could look at it. There's this guy, right? It's a Caucasian guy, and because I guess the Caucasian men are part of the bottom of the barrel as well. And he goes, before anybody takes it the wrong way, I'm not gay, but I'm looking for a man to marry. And he's just breaking down why he wants to get married to a man, because he wants to reap the benefits of marriage, but he doesn't want to do it with the woman. And he doesn't want to do it with an American woman. And he breaks down all the reasons why. So when he first starts it off, he kind of hits you, he kind of catches you with like, whoa, like you're kind of like, what is he trying to say? You know what I mean? And then when you listen to it, you're like, all the benefits that he talks about, yeah, it makes more sense if men marry men. You know what I mean? But understand, you're marrying a man for the benefits of the system, but you procreate with a woman. That's how bad it is. Once again, JM, we're not talking about everyone. We're talking about America in comparison to other places does not have the same level of femininity. Does not have the type of things that men like. And it's going downhill. It's not like it's getting better. Where we're like, okay, we see this as a progressive thing. So let's talk about the up and up. This is something that's declining, and we're seeing, we see the problem. You know, it's like, I think James is the type of person that they're driving on a on a highway, and there's like something's flashing on a dashboard. You like pull over, like, well, I'm not in my destination yet. I'm just keep gassing it. No, this is bad, and so it needs to be addressed, and something needs to change. And if it doesn't change, we're talking about the future of what's going to happen, and we're actually living in that future right now because it's already happening.
Oh no, well for me, I could.
Well, yeah, you're out of it.
I could care, and majority of men could care less too, because you know what? It's like, what are you gonna try to do? Are you gonna try to change entire gender's ideal on how they move, on how they live, on how they react to the music they hear or what they see on social media, or blah blah blah? Or do you rather go somewhere else that's not tainted with that, where you don't have to put it with that? Because life is a promise. Life is too short to be stressed out over the what ifs,
Right.
or the things you can't control. Right? And shout out to Ricky for this. He says, "JM, every rule has an exception, but there has to be at least a small percentage of good women there. But the culture and politics have destroyed the family thing." Thank you. Equal rights. Don't make us equal in every way like people are trying to make it. Thank you.
You know, it's
And,
crazy.
and to my point is, guys don't want to deal with that anymore.
It's just, it's a systemic issue.
Who wants to deal with that? Listen, I'm gonna tell you how messed up the game is, right? I remember one day, Russ was telling me a story about this expat who had moved to the Dominican Republic, right?
Right.
Full time, moved to the Dominican Republic full time, enjoying life. Met a female expat who moved to the Dominican Republic full time, enjoyed life. They dated, got married, had a kid, and then what happens? They break up, divorce.
Right.
Lady hops back on a plane to go to the state from the DR where she was living full time and files for child support while the family was living in the DR.
You got it?
Who wants to go through that? Where someone's first mentality is get the bag by any means. Don't care who you're trampling over, or how many people you're trampling over, or how you're getting it. Get the bag. That's the mindset now.
It's an obvious systemic issue, because even if you were to go to another country and you go and you get yourself a woman and you bring her here, it's a countdown. The second she lands at JFK Airport or wherever airport you live, in whatever part of the U.S. you live in, the second they land, most of the time, bro, they do not maintain the same level of femininity as they came with. The system starts to change them and transform them, and the interest for Gucci bags and like things that really don't have no value, the celebrity shows, the things that are just like rotting the minds of the women in this country. Not all, but a lot of them. The thing that's rotting their minds are typically some of the first things that come, and you're gonna have a grievance time or a moment where it's just like horrible, where you got to deal with your chick being Americanized. And when that happens, good the fuck luck. It's part of my language.
It's sad.
It is.
It's sad, but like I said earlier, you if you can't change it, control what you can control. All of you guys who travel, right? If you're in the watching this right now, you travel or you live abroad. How has your experience become better? compared to what you were dealing with in the States? Whether you're a guy or a girl, how has your experience, whether you've gone full time, part time, how has your experience become better compared to what you were dealing with back home?
I think that's the triggering thing for you. Check up, bro.
How
I think that's what triggers people out either here in America or just women in general. It's when I think when we as men that see both sides speak the truth so directly, it's like the Kevin Samuels effect. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't like the fact that they're saying it. I don't like the fact that they're being so real and so honest about it. No, I think that's what is triggering. I don't think it's a lack of understanding that this is really happening. I think people just don't want to hear that. No, America's not the best at this thing. It's not the Olympics where you're gonna leave with 70, 170 gold medals. This is the realm where you're not number one. There's a lot of other countries that are like number one, two, three, four. You're not even a silver medal right now. You're not even bronze.
even for healthcare, how the American media portrays a lot of these countries, third world countries, developing countries, they're ranked higher in terms of healthcare compared to America.
That's what
You know something? You know, if you were to come down to Brazil right now and break your leg, you would get treated free here.
I didn't know that.
GM says, dude, I travel and I don't have anything against dudes that travel. Just don't bash American women because then you're bashing your mom, auntie, sisters. My mom is an American.
My mom's not American. That's
My
what
mom and my aunt did not. My
JM.
family are Americans.
Yo, who is this JM? Where'd you get this JM from, bro? This is hilarious, bro. My mama is not American. My auntie, my
Who you Jay, I don't know who exactly you think you're defending.
my bad, Papa. My mama's not American. Never had issues with her. My auntie's not American. Never had issues with her. You know who is American? Born in America? My sister, bro, and caused me some of the craziest headaches in my life. That's wild. So JM, maybe you're 1,000% right. I'm not bashing no American women because they're my family members. Thank God. I wasn't born here either. So I've lived for a considerable portion of my life elsewhere. I've traveled to a lot of different countries and I see a difference. You talk about bashing American women. No, I'm calling a spade a spade. If you travel like you said, you know what I mean. It's just not about the other dudes that you. If you travel like you said and you haven't for yourself seen a difference, then you need to open your eyes up. Take them shades off.
JM, don't if you think I'm bashing, don't watch. I don't have the time and the preparation that Andre has at Love Crossing Borders because he'll come to you with pie charts and articles and everything to prove his point on why Matrix bad, outside Matrix good. I'm doing a nice about it, but Dre and Love Crossing Borders, man, he comes with the truth, and even if you don't like it, you can't deny it.
Yeah, speaking of truth, is not bashing. Thank you, Lobo. I that's what I was saying earlier, Chabapa. I said earlier, maybe 10 to 15 years ago, maybe before phones were so digital and you could have access to everything. For example, right? I live in New York. There used to be a huge difference between girls in New York City and girls in Suffolk County. You got the completely different treatment. Just now it's like that line is being erased, and it's happening with even the states that used to just have like the type of girls that were just like small town girls. If you want to find somebody today to marry that has some sort of family values, now it's a systemic thing. TikTok, social media, the American system is corrupting and rotting the brains of the women in this country, and the government helps that process to continue to happen. That's what I think you're not getting. And it does not benefit men because it doesn't do it for men. So it benefits them only. So when men are realizing this, they're getting this and they're going somewhere else where they can get someone that has more of a traditional value. That's what we're seeing. Am I making sense, Chapapa?
I ain't making sense. Listen, that's why I said there's nothing wrong with going somewhere to get your value. Like I said, if you go to a restaurant and you ask for a specific meal, but they want to force feed you something else, what would you do? You get up and you go somewhere else,
Right.
right? Now, to say that me or just a few thousand when it's more than thousands, right? More than thousands of men, documented and undocumented, who are having success stories outside of the states when it comes to these type of things. It's not just people, oh, you guys have been picking wrong or bottom of the barrel or this and that. Listen, it's in the news every day. There is a war on traditional men, right? So best thing for traditional men to do is go to where they can find traditional women. The end. I respect EJ. I respect JM for coming up and sharing his piece on it, his opinion, but it doesn't hold weight. It
Right.
doesn't hold weight.
I hope
So
you.
if a bank can predict 45% women of one country, which is a big number, will be single. For women to feel a type of way to get on the internet, to get in media and bash successful men overseas, something's going on. For guys, right, to come on YouTube and be like, "Whoa, what about the society? What about the environment? The black, the this and that, and all the women here. Y'all can have them if y'all feel so passionate about it, and that everything over there is hunky dory and beautiful roses. Isn't it better to have less men there in the states? It's less competition. Y'all can have that. Don't worry about it. Let guys get on the plane and bash all they want and go find a habit somewhere else. And it's more for you. More you could put on your plate. Good luck. Have fun. Don't get gray hairs. Don't die early from stress.
Right.
Look at Tracy Ross. Listen, man, y'all lucky I'm not Dre. I would have been up here with pie charts and articles because he's been on fire lately on his channel talking about this ish. Been on fire talking about what you could find in South America as a man.
Right.
My man's is 55 years old.
Aging backwards.
Huh?
Aging backwards.
Aging backwards. 55 years old, aging backwards in Cali, Colombia, soon to be Portugal, with his beautiful wife. Show me a 55-year-old in the Matrix that has what he has going on. I wish Dre was on now too. Shout out to my dog Dre. Make sure y'all go watch Love Crossing Borders. But shout out to you too, EJ Creative, for coming on and all this stuff up. So I'm gonna drop the StreamYard link one more time. And if you guys want to have any quick questions on Brazil, chime in on the topic. All I ask is that you do come with your facial, no avatars, whatever. Consultations are still up. I'm gonna put the email right here in the comments also.
Yeah, I requested for JM to come on. I'd like to have a conversation with JM. It's no bad blood. I just I was just kind of perplexed by our perspective, and his perspective or her perspective. I'm not sure. I think JM is the guy. Not sure, but one way or the other, I'd love for Jam to come on and we could have a nice conversation in regards to why he feels the way he feels and thinks we may be wrong for how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe then that could convert me to stop bashing.
Nah, ain't not gonna convert, but he not gonna convert. He has an opinion, but his opinion is gonna be him versus tens, if not hundreds of thousands of hardworking, tired men that will beg to differ.
Right.
That will beg to differ. But bro, I'm about to put up your IG page because you guys need to go follow this brother. For any of your photography needs, right here, like you said, we work together a little bit in Colombia. This is Instagram right here. Uh, Photographers, videographers, media consultant, based out of NYC. Let's get them up. 10,200 followers for now. But look at some of this work, man. Beautiful work. Talented brother. I could vouch for his work. You need to shoot a movie. You need to do a photo shoot, baby photo shoot, all that stuff. Yeah, fellas, y'all would enjoy some of the things you'll see on this page too. Like, y'all enjoy some of the things you see on this page. You know what I mean? Beautiful. EJ Creative. I got the video.
I appreciate the love, bro, and it's internationally as well. We based out of New York City, but the team and myself, we travel everywhere. We'll be in we may be in DR, but in 2 weeks we'll be in Florida. Next week, we'll be in Guatemala. Oh, this is right here. This is in Colombia. Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Medellin, you travel all the way to Medellin, Colombia for this photo shoot.
Correct.
Photo shoot. Book that man. Book that model too. She's Louise. Book that man. Book that model. What else we got? Then there's one more. Make sure y'all go follow the brother EJ Creative. All the information is right there on IG. Still don't got no one backstage. But that's okay. That was a dope photo shoot, man, with the mountain and the view.
Man, that location you had, that was amazing. I don't know how you found that spot, but it was a little tough getting up there in that mountain, but it was worth it because listen, the view was unbelievable. The peace, access to nature. There was no bugs, which kind of surprised me being on the side of a mountain.
Mm-hmm. This is around spring in Medellin. Shout out to GQ. He definitely found that spot. But yeah, like I said, guys, make sure I book the brother. Follow him for his needs, for any of your photography needs, international wedding. Y'all get married. Y'all be getting married overseas a lot. I see y'all getting married in the Philippines, getting married in Thailand. He travels. Getting married in DR. He travels. We're actually going to be working together for the Veterans Day Met Gala. This year in November.
I mean that booking, by the way. I wanted to thank you directly while we were on live. Thank you. I spoke to the gentleman out there, and he didn't even have to think twice. He said, if you're good with Chapapa, then you go with me, and he already locked me in. So thank you again for that.
Definitely, man. Listen, yeah, that's a party I don't want to miss. Veterans Day this year. Uncle Alan tore it up last year for the Met Gala, Met Vets, the clinic in Puerto Plata. Shout out to Eye Wellness Clinic in Santiago. Man, it's crazy to where even outside the country, veterans get great care. Great care. Y'all know I love y'all, man. Shout out to the vets, but make sure y'all definitely there this year, November 11th. That's a Saturday in Santo Domingo, hosted by Chapapa TV. Photography and video done by EJ Creative NYC. It's gonna be a doozy, but like I said, I'm gonna be there with my shiny Brazilian ID card because El Casi Sou Brasileiro. I go there. You know what I mean? Portuguese is coming up there too. Like I said, shout out to everyone who's new to the channel, especially from Brazil. I appreciate you guys. It's gonna be great. I've been lazy. I know I've been lazy, but got a good live stream coming to you guys. I'm trying to set it up for April. Try to get a lady friend here to sit down, and she's gonna talk to us about what dating is like in Brazilian culture and how can you, the traveler, can understand it respectfully and to hit the ground running. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Turn on the notification bells. Check out the shorts. Like I said, shorts are always the fastest way for me to get content out to you guys without me having to sit and or edit videos. Listen, last video I edited was the Super Bowl video, and it was great, man. Charles said Super Bowl looked like the World Cup out here. Super Bowl was lit, was phenomenal. Phenomenal. He said it looked like the World Cup. And the turnout it had. Let me share that. Let me share that video one more time. All of these
I saw a video you posted of some guy falling. That was hilarious.
oh yeah, that Super Bowl also. That was the last. I couldn't breathe that day. I could not breathe. Let's see. All right, so we got a few videos, and I want to show y'all the Rihanna. I got the Rihanna part of it for y'all. So we're gonna screen share this. Yo, it's like I couldn't choose. Well, obviously the World Cup was better. And listen, like I told you guys, next World Cup, I challenge you to go watch it, to choose a country of the team that qualifies and go watch it from that country. Vibe is unbelievable. Unbelievable. That vibe. Look how packed this place was, bro, for a football game. Look for a football game, man. American football in Brazil. NFL's own event. Right here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Lots of honeys there. To be honest, between you and me, I think they only showed up for Rihanna, but it was a lot of females there in jerseys. Everybody was there enjoying Rihanna. Look how packed this place was, bro. This is like a whole complex. This was for Super Bowl, y'all. I could not make this up. This was a vibe. This was a vibe. Halftime show. They had like a 40-yard dash in there. They had like the drills in there, all this stuff. It's right here. It says right there, NFL in Brasa, right? Viewing party. This was the NFL's very first event here in Brazil for the Super Bowl. And I got to be a part of that. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. This is before it got super packed, man. It was just ridiculous, bro. We went there with some great friends, with some amazing friends, but it was great, man. I definitely challenge you guys to come out here watch Super Bowl. Better than Sasua, in my opinion. Like I said, night and day. Night and day, yeah.
Except my Eagles lost.
Yeah. Yeah, Eagles lost, but man. Yeah, I forgot they even lost, bro. That's how great the place was. That's how great the place was. Let me try to find the video you're talking about, because I'm sure a few people didn't see my boy almost losing his shit. Where is it? I can't find it. But it's a short, guys. This short has like thousands of views. My boy wanted to do the 40-yard dash, and he ain't make it. He failed miserably. He ain't make it. But this is what I was talking about right here. When I said the NFL went off, For this, look at this right here. This is all inside the complex. You got to go there, run your drills. This was all in the complex, bro. So I think definitely next year you guys should try to come down and watch the Super Bowl. There's that video of him busting his ass. Let me try.
Video's hilarious.
I need YouTube. When I tell you guys, I need to like show you guys this video before we get off. It's on the shorts. It racked up like 1,000 views. It's hilarious. And when I tell you, like I got it, one of those laughs where you get a 6-pack from laughing so hard.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Found it. I titled this short, I Need God to Help My Friend. Let me see. Yeah, Ricky, Rudy. It was Rudy, man. Shout out to Rudy. He's all right.
We shout out to Rudy.
He's all right. He ain't appreciate, it's just one of those moments, y'all, where like the universe told me, like, hey, pull out your phone, record this. And then I answered. I was like, okay, universe. Okay, no problem.
As you wish. There you go. That video is epic.
People are looking at me like, are you really laughing at your friend like that? I'm like, hell yeah. Bro.
Yeah, it was so much fun though, bro. It was cool to see. Like he fell, but he, just like life, he fell a couple of times, but he got himself right back up, and he got to the finish line, bro. And that's what matters.
That's what matters. And he's been out here in Brazil longer than me. Rose, it's amazing like how many expats I have met. I have a friend named Liz. She's been out here like 10 years. And this is Brazil, bro. Sao Paulo at that. Brazil is huge. Right. And I know there's plenty more expats that live down there. And I know plenty more people that want to come live down here. So, like I said, guys, if you guys either want to invest, you want to be a digital nomad, or you're a veteran, please contact me and I'll put you in touch. Actually, Mike, my Australian brother from the Down Under, is supposed to be on the channel also one night. So a couple of lives coming up, gonna have the lady friend up here, gonna have Mike up here to talk about getting your visa situated here in Brazil. It's gonna be a Q&A. It's gonna be great. But besides that, we about to hit the 2-hour mark. Special applause for my guest, EJ Creative.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you. Any last closing words?
Listen, I know sometimes it may seem as if it's bashing, but it really isn't. As far as men, we still have to have the ability to express ourselves and say what we hear. The difference between men and women is we say what we see, they say how they feel. And if we start to behave like them, there's going to become an imbalance in the world. We need to create that balance. If something is going wrong in this country and on this side of the planet, whatever it is, if we see something going wrong, we have to be able to ring the alarm so they can eventually, if possible, I believe the world is like this, where there will be a change, but there have to be enough men willing to stand up strong and say something is wrong and we need to fix it. If we keep turning the cold shoulder or acting like it's not an issue, it's only going to get worse. And so we need to ring the alarm, fix it. I'm not saying completely abandon the country and turn your back. I mean, like, for some people, if they choose their peace over trying to fix somebody else's problem, I'm with them. But at the same time, if I live here and I see that there's an issue, I pay my taxes. I have the right to say how I feel, and I have the right to express what I'm witnessing. And if it's if you have to get censored for doing that, then that's when I'm going to have to pack up my bags and be on the way out too.
I understand. Well, I wouldn't be as nice about as how EJ put it. I say go for the abandonment. Hop on a plane with your suitcase, one way. Don't look back. Find your happiness
Right.
wherever that is in the world. Find the beach in your life. EJ Creative, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I gotta show you something. Matter of fact, before we leave, it's my office here. I have multiple, but my son was wearing this hat the other day, and I said, when I go on, I gotta even though I have all these locks, and it'd be close to impossible for it to actually fit. But I have my
Chop About TV Brazilian edition.
Limited edition.
Man, listen. That deserves another round of applause. You gotta get Chop About TV hats, man. Definitely. Y'all see a few of them out there in DR. Definitely, y'all gonna see a few of them out here. Philly Dom got one.
A few out here in New York.
A few of them out there in New York.
Yeah.
Philly Dom one the other day. Definitely. That's a lot of love, bro. I appreciate that. We're gonna talk. Stay tuned for the next lives. There's gonna be some good ones, but this was a great live tonight. I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Well, for me to wrap it up, you already know what I'm gonna say. I ain't here to feed sunshines and rainbows. Dating is dead in the States. It's dead. And if you're at that age where you don't want to waste your time, man on woman, mostly men, fly away. Go somewhere else. Brazil is great. DR is great for some. Colombia is great for some. Asia's been tearing it up. I got to figure out what's going on with Asia because Asia's kidnapping a lot of you brothers. I got to figure out what's going on. But like I said, my fault for the disappearance. I'll be trying to communicate to you guys through shorts. So always drop a comment. I always get to them. Consultations are still up. Hit me up for any consultations for information regarding the Dominican Republic and or Brazil currently right now. Anything, shout out to everybody who has hit me up and I've remained friends with from the channel. El Lobo, Kwame, KGB, all of you guys. I really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. All old subscribers, new subscribers, even those of you guys who've been watching for 2 years and haven't said nothing. I appreciate you guys and thank you. Thank you for always tuning in when we pop up. It's gonna be some good lives coming ahead. But yeah, I already know how we end the show. Life is great if you make it great. Find your beach, people. Good night.